Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen my first couple of videos, my name's Sally. I am mum of one. I have a 2-year-old daughter called Layla Rose, and I'm pregnant with my second child. I'm 32 weeks pregnant. This is my 32-week pregnancy update. As at filming today, I am 32 weeks and 2 days pregnant. So I kind of feel like I'm on the countdown now. It is the middle of July, so it's hot. It's really humid at the moment as well, which is really not helping. I think I said in my first video that I didn't expect my symptoms to change too much between now and the end. Well, I was quite wrong. In the last week or so, it's changed quite a bit actually. I feel like I've suddenly got to that point now where I'm like, okay, I want the baby to kind of come soon. I think partly because of the humidity, and also just because I have been feeling more and more tired because my daughter's still not sleeping that well, but I have just been sleeping terribly. I've just been feeling so exhausted. It's been awful. Layla Rose is still waking in the night. She tends to wake up for the day now about 5, which I've kind of gotten used to. But that was on the basis that she was going down at 7 and then sleeping through. Now she's kind of waking at 1, sometimes 11, sometimes like 2. So it's definitely really affected the dynamic in the house because my husband's not sleeping either. So I'm just hoping that that's a phase that's going to pass before the baby arrives. So we'll see what happens there. But in terms of the symptoms this week, the biggest change is that I've started having Braxton Hicks, which is something that I never had with Layla Rose. I don't remember having any at all last time round, but I'm definitely getting them now. They're kind of on and off. They haven't been every day, but I've definitely been feeling them, which is a new thing for me. I guess it's kind of like a very mild contraction, very strong period pain, and they come and go. Tend to be more at night time that I've felt it, so that's kind of been interesting. And the other major thing is that I'm now really swollen. I'll try and show you my feet at the end of the video. Basically last time round I had really bad swelling, so I had edema from about 33 weeks onwards. My feet, my ankles, my calves were they just ballooned up completely, and I was still working in London at the time because I used to commute, and it was just a nightmare. It was so hard because I couldn't get any shoes on my feet. I ended up having to go to Primark to buy men's size 8 trainers so that I could actually travel, because I literally couldn't put anything on my feet, and it was March, so it wasn't the kind of time of year where I could wear flip-flops, and it was actually I think it was quite rainy as well at that time. So at least this time round I'm in flip-flops. That's definitely helping, but equally I'm chasing a toddler around all day, so I don't really get to put my feet up that much, and my feet have literally ballooned in the last 2 or 3 days. I've lost my ankles. I can literally push into my skin around my calves and it will leave a hole. It's so gross. And I'm a little bit alarmed just because this is earlier than last time, so I've still got a fair way to go. And I remember it got worse. It got really bad towards the end. I ended up having to be induced with my first pregnancy because with all the swelling, I had polyhydramnios, which is basically where you have an excessive amount of fluid with the so basically the baby is floating in too much fluid, and I didn't have it really severely, so that you can have different sort of I guess they test it and measure it up on the level of liquid that you have, but I had enough that they were a little bit concerned about complications, and so induction was advised. Also because she was measuring quite large. I think they predicted that she would be about 9.5 pounds. She wasn't in the end. She was 7.15, so she was a good weight. But I think partly because when they're doing the scans, when there's all that extra fluid, they can't get great accuracy with the measurements, and I know they're not always accurate anyway, but I think that makes it worse. So see, at the time this was my first pregnancy, so I just kind of went with the advice of the doctor and didn't even question it. So I was induced, and I did manage to get through the whole of labour kind of fairly okay, and then she ended up back to back, so I had an emergency cesarean, and that was mainly to do with the fact that she had so much fluid in there that she was moving around a lot. So I'm now thinking, oh, I really don't want to be in the same boat this time round. I really wanted to have a natural birth. So I'm just going to have to see how it goes, because I've got a couple more weeks before I need to make my birth plan and decide whether I want to go natural or have a cesarean, because obviously if you've had an emergency C-section, you are entitled to have a cesarean the second time round. I don't want that at all. I want to try and have a natural birth. But I'm also now thinking, if I'm going to end up in the same situation, I don't know. I need to think about it. So yeah, the swelling is really started, and it's funny actually, because about 3 days ago I was hoovering, and I've got a stick vacuum. It's a Shark one, so you clip the bottom out and you can take different attachments out to hoover different types of flooring. So I was taking out the big base to put the like the nozzle thing in, and it fell out onto my foot. I must not have clicked it in properly, and it literally smashed my foot, and I was howling in pain. Like, I was really crying, and ever since then my swelling has started. I've got quite a lot of bruising on that foot as well from it, so I feel like that somehow triggered it. I don't know, it's probably not. It's probably just the fact that it's really humid, and I'm getting to that point where I'm just getting that much bigger. So that's fun. Other than that, everything else is kind of fairly similar to how I was a couple of weeks ago. I'm still craving sugar quite a lot. Trying not to have much. I'm trying to cut down on sweet treats and sugars and things. But obviously, with it being this warm, I'm having ice cream and stuff like that. So, and headache-wise, I've had a few headaches this week, not so many. I've kind of had them intermittently. I didn't have any headaches earlier in the pregnancy. That's definitely something that started towards the end. I'm very uncomfortable. I find lifting my 2-year-old really, really hard, and she's being really clingy at the moment, and I'm not sure whether that is because she kind of has enough of a sense of what's going on to be affected by the fact that the baby's coming. Some of my friends with 2 said that they had a similar sort of phase with their first child when they were pregnant. So she is being really clingy. She wants me to hold her a lot, especially after her nap. When she wakes up, she's like super clingy and just wants to sit with me, and that's fine as long as I can sit down. But she's quite demanding, and if I need to do anything, or if I need to cook or sort anything out, she just wants to be held. So that's become really quite difficult. And just general uncomfortableness, just bloating. I have suffered with constipation this pregnancy. Sorry if this is TMI, but it's part of being pregnant. One of the main joys of pregnancy is that everything gets so squashed inside that you don't have enough room for your food, you can't digest stuff properly, you get gassy, you get bloated, and things like that happen. So I have had quite bad constipation. I'm feeling better at the moment. I have actually started taking something that I've been prescribed by the doctor. I didn't actually think that there was anything I could take other than the obvious things like fibre gel, and I've tried a couple of other things that are just kind of chemist recommendations, but my GP said actually to try these sachets that I hadn't heard of before, and they're definitely really helping, so that's good. And I've also been eating prunes every day as well, so that's helping. So that's eased off a bit. I still get really, really bloated, and I'm finding that with meals I want to eat a massive portion. I'm hungry, but once I start eating I fill up super quickly, so I can't actually finish my meals, and there's nowhere for it to go, and you just kind of feel it all sitting there at the top. It's sort of like trying to get in and it can't get down. So I think I need to reduce my portion sizes down a bit now and just try and have more meals little and often, rather than trying to have like 3 big meals a day, which is what I have been doing. That's what I'm used to. So yeah, I think that's probably everything this week. I'm going to start organising things for the baby in the next couple of weeks, start thinking about a hospital bag and making sure I've got what I need just in case. Like, I'd like to be ready by 34 weeks just because then I can relax a bit and I know I've kind of got everything sorted, ready, and just kind of washing all the clothes and stuff. Sorry, my battery just died there. Yeah, so I've just been starting to wash through all the baby clothes because I have actually bought quite a lot of stuff for the baby now. I think we've pretty much got all the stuff that we need for the newborn kind of first couple of weeks. We don't know what we're having, so everything is very grey and white and just kind of neutral. And then once the baby arrives, then I'll go shopping and I'll probably film some sort of newborn haul because I want to get quite a lot of stuff. I'd rather wait and then just have a few essentials for the first couple of weeks. So I'll probably try and do another update in a couple of weeks, maybe 34 weeks, I think. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye!